Welcome to Chapter and Concept, where we deconstruct the architecture of ideas, one page at a time. And welcome to our very first explainer in what we're calling the Architecture series. For this entire season, we're going to be using the Enneagram as our blueprint. Together, we're going to explore the internal architecture of 9 really distinct ways of seeing the world. You know, at its heart, this is the question the Enneagram is really asking us to look at. This isn't just another personality test that's going to put you in a box. It's much, much more than that. Think of it like an ancient map, a guide for the spiritual seeker that's designed to shine a light on the very patterns that keep us stuck, and then show us the way back home to who we really are. So let's start our architectural tour with today's blueprint, Type 7, who you might know as the Enthusiast. The thing you need to know about 7s is that deep down, they are striving for this incredible sense of imaginative freedom. It's this constant, inspiring quest for independence and all the possibilities life has to offer. I mean, this image just says it all, doesn't it? This is the external architecture of the 7. They are easily the most energetic of all the types. So charming, so winsome, and they always seem to be chasing happiness. Their spontaneity is just a gift. They can reframe pretty much any situation and offer everyone around them a little mini vacation from all the heavy stuff in life. But here's where we get to a really crucial distinction, and it's probably the biggest misconception about 7s. Because they're so socially warm and have this, effervescent charm, people often mistake them for a heart type. But the reality is their entire operating system is firmly planted in the head center. What that means is they process life through thinking, and they often use that as a strategy to kind of analyze and keep their distance from any difficult feelings. Okay, so let's peek beneath that vibrant surface and really try to understand the why behind it all. What's the core engine that's driving all of this constant motion? So if you look at the blueprint here, their whole structure is built on one foundational fear, the fear of being trapped in pain and deprivation. Just that one fear is what fuels this incredibly powerful desire to always be satisfied, to always be stimulated. So their mental fixation naturally becomes planning, always looking ahead to the next adventure, the next exciting possibility, anything to make sure that pain can never quite catch up. And that fixation on planning, well, it's fueled by their core passion, which is gluttony. But this isn't about food, not at all. For a Type 7, gluttony is this all-consuming mental activity. Right? It's this compulsive need to just fill themselves up with stimulating experiences, with new ideas, with endless plans. 7s find their comfort not really in the present moment, but in anticipating what's coming next. The future becomes this huge glittering buffet of options, and it's the perfect escape from any discomfort or, heaven forbid, boredom they might feel right now. So all of this constant planning and future focus, it builds what looks like this impenetrable fortress of optimism. But even the strongest buildings have stress fractures. And that leads us to the big, curious question for the 7. What are they actually running from? The source material we're looking at suggests that there's this profound disconnection from their own inner world. They kind of imagine their own heart as a quicksand of pain, and they truly believe that if they stepped into it, they'll be lost forever. So they use all of their energy to do absolutely everything they can to stay on solid, fun ground. And this constant running creates those stress fractures we talked about. An unwillingness to just sit with discomfort can lead to them avoiding accountability or maybe seeming like they lack some emotional depths. It also shows up in their amazing talent for reframing anything negative. But this clashes head-on with commitment. Anything that creates limits, like deep relationships, long-term projects, and especially leadership roles, can feel like a cage. The responsibility and the constraints of being a leader directly threaten their need for total freedom, which, you can imagine, can seriously get in the way of making grounded, discerning choices for themselves and for others. So, if the entire architecture is designed for escape, how does a 7 even begin the renovation project to find their way back to their true self? Well, the Enneagram provides a map for that journey home. This diagram shows it so well. You see the arrows? Under stress, a 7 starts to disintegrate towards the unhealthy traits of a Type 1. They become rigid, critical, perfectionistic. But in health, in growth, the 7 integrates toward Type 5. They become more grounded, more reflective, and they finally become capable of being deeply present with their own experience. The antidote to that passion of gluttony is the virtue of sobriety. Now, this doesn't mean they stop having fun or become boring, It means being sober to reality as it is, learning to embrace the whole spectrum of life, the good and the bad, the joy and the pain, and finding a really deep satisfaction right here in the present without constantly needing to chase that next high. So the renovation work, the actual practice, involves things that feel completely counterintuitive to a 7. The sources are clear that true freedom for them doesn't come from having endless options, but from arresting their chronic escapism. This means learning how to rest in silence, to embrace solitude, and to just stay put. It's in that quiet space that they can finally face the emptiness they're so afraid of, only to find out it's not quicksand at all, but actually fertile ground for growth. And really, that's the ultimate goal here. It's not about becoming some serious, stuffy person who gives up on fun. It's about discovering that a true, resilient kind of joy comes from integrating all of life's experiences. There's a satisfaction that's so much deeper when you contribute to the world and face its challenges, a satisfaction that no fleeting pleasure could ever really match. So we'll leave you with this final blueprint for reflection, and it doesn't matter if you're a 7 or not. What beautiful futures are you planning, maybe, to avoid the reality of the present? That brings this chapter to a close. Thank you for joining us at Chapter and Concept. Join us for the next episode as we continue building the architecture of ideas. Don't forget to subscribe to stay within the foundation.